Backbounces. A trick feared by some and loved by others. I hope that after watching this video, you'll like them as well. A backbounce starts from feet. You go to your back in one bounce and stand up in the next bounce. When you're bouncing and standing, the idea of getting to your back might seem quite scary, but once you start breaking it down into smaller steps, which is exactly what we're gonna do here, you see it's not that bad. There are actually several ways to do back bounces. You can do them with foot hook or without foot hook. And as I'm really convinced by my way, I brought Basti to explain you the other way. Basti, why should you use a foot hook?
In my opinion, the foot hook really helps to lift your upper body off the line when you're pulling yourself up, which makes it a lot easier to go back to feet.
For me, the foot hook is just one more thing I would have to do, which I don't really have time for. So for me, it's easier to just use my abs to pull myself up. Before trying back bounces, you should be able to do Korean bounces. Once you're really comfortable with them, you can start working towards back bounces. For all of the steps that follow, you can have the leash either between your legs or over one leg to the side. I find it a bit less annoying when it's between the legs because it gets less in my way, but the leash falls are a little more comfortable when you have it over the leg to the side. You can think of back bounces as a Korean bounce with lying down in the middle. To build it up, you should start with the part that you're probably missing, which is to lay down from Korean to back and get up in the next bounce. To do it, just lean back at the very top of the bounce. Put the arms to the side and let the legs hang next to the line. To get back up, just use your abs and the upward motion of the line to sit up again.
If you prefer the version with the foot hook, you do almost the same, except that you hook the line with your front foot. I personally only do it on the way up to lift my upper body off the line, but some people also like to do it on the way down because it gives them stability.
When you put your arms to the side, your center of gravity is quite low, making this a stable position. If you trust it, leash falls are quite unlikely at this point because it's not hard to find the line from Korean. If you feel like you would benefit from being more comfortable in the back position, spending more time in it and practicing tricks from back can be a great way to get there. And if you're interested, you can check out my previous video on this. Okay, let's now put the Korean bounce and the transition from Korean to back together. So start bouncing and standing, then in the first bounce sit down to Korean, lay down to your back in the second bounce, get up to Korean again in the third one, and then finally stand up to feet in the last bounce. I would recommend practicing this a little bit because the next step is going to be to accelerate this from 4 bounces to 2. And the easier it is for you to do it in 4 bounces, the easier it will be to learn it to do in 2 bounces. To go to Korean and then lay down to back in 1 bounce instead of 2, you just try to do it all a bit faster and more efficiently. For me, this means putting both legs next to the line at the same time instead of one after the other, which I do for the Korean bounce, and then directly leaning back.
I personally go to sit with both my feet still on the line and then simultaneously lay back and drop both of my legs off the line. If you prefer to do the version with the foot hook, instead of dropping both legs at the same time as you're laying back, you start to hook with the front foot.
To get up from back to feet in 1 bounce, you want to start getting up quite early in the bounce to have enough time to put the feet and stand up in the same bounce. For me, the key for standing up was again to put both feet almost at the same time and then to stand up.
For me, the first thing I do is to hook the line with my front foot. This way I can pull my upper body up and then put my back foot on the line. Then I can already start standing up with the back foot and at the same time releasing the hook from the front foot and putting that one on the line as well and finish standing up.
And that's it. Have fun practicing it. And if you haven't seen my video on tricks starting from the back position yet, go watch it now because that can be a great next step. See you next time.